Hello, everyone. I would like you to introduce Syed. Congrats to one of our traders that made four-figure payouts back to back. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You want to tell us a little bit of your background, how you got started in trading?
Yeah, I've been in the trading markets from the past more than a decade now. Almost, I think that's 13, 14 years. Um, but I'm relatively new to prop trading. It's been a couple of years when I started, you know, going through prop firms and handling prop accounts. So that is it. I mean, mainly I do price action trading, and my genre is swing trading. So, I use price action to take and identify swing trades, and that is pretty much it.
Do you use the economic calendar often? I'm assuming.
No, no, I don't. I don't. So the news and numbers and economic events, those only I use to manage my positions. Those are not the contributors in my signal generation or trade idea generation. So basically, I'm using price action solely on its own, raw vanilla price charts, and looking for market trends and then patterns and then value areas. That is it. The economic numbers, indicators, those only I use to manage my active ongoing position. For example, if I have an open position, let's say in gold, and the non-farm payroll is due, so I might, adjust my position according to what is expected from NFP.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how old are you when you first started trading, and were you a swing trader for the decade you've been
Well,
trading?
that's an amazing thing because I have been swing trader right from my first day in the market. And I was introduced to trading back in like it was around back in 2010, 2011, and it was the forex market. And the first question I asked my broker when I filled out some sort of an online forum, and then this guy called me. I still remember his name. His name was Mark Farmer. He was the first person on the call. My first question was that, can you tell me what is forex trading? And then he actually spent 20 good minutes to explain me, what is. So it was back in 2010, 2011. And right from the beginning, I was lucky enough that people I followed, they were actually swing traders. So I never, did scalping or any other model.
So you were really patient from the get-go?
Yes, I mean, it totally depends on your approach. I mean, what you're looking for. For example, with me, it's like I am, I'm trading to make money, not trading for the sake of trading. So people kind of think that they will trade and they'll make money, but for with my philosophy, it's totally different. You only trade when you see money in the market. You know what I mean? And trade is just the medium to you go and picking up that money from the market.
Hmm.
So if so my trading is goal oriented. I've already decided that this is what I need on yearly basis. This is what I need on any particular month. And doesn't matter how many trades I'm taking in order to achieve that target, number of trades or when I'm trading is totally irrelevant.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been trading gold all your life?
Well, the thing is, I mean, before now, this is how it happens. That mostly most of the people in my circle and people who have been trading from a certain time, they start off with many markets. Their portfolio watch list is too big. Like they've got Forex, 10 markets from Forex and five from cryptos and maybe five commodities. As the time passed by and you have more experience under your belt, you kind of realize that you don't need so many markets to make money. I mean, it's just very selective markets. So I don't trade gold. I've got one market from Forex, one from commodity, one from one stock index, and one crypto. That's all.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah.
So how many years did it take you to become profitable, and what was your turning point?
It was actually, I would say it was around the fifth year. Because the thing is, when we were starting off, I still remember my first three trades. One was in gold, two were in Euro USD. And you might have, you must know this, that back in the days, if we go 10, 15 years back, Euro USD was one of the most volatile market. And this market used to give so many amazing moves, not as compared to what it is doing now from the past couple of years. So um, it was around the fifth year when I actually started understanding market trends. And I started looking at the market from supply and demand perspective. The value points, the value areas, and all these concepts which are not commercially um, explained very well.
All right. So, what was your turning point on your fifth year? Like, what did you have to change to become profitable out of the
Understand
5 years?
market trend, understand trends. You see, the thing is, I'm a big fan of reading, and then you might have heard about this author, Jack D. Schwager. Now, he's the guy who spent his whole life interviewing successful traders all around the globe. And one of his very famous series, Market Visits. Now, Market Visits, he started writing in 1970s. Then he had this volume coming out in 80s and 90s, and then early 2000s. The recently newly launched book was The Unknown Market Visits. So I used to study a lot of guys, Tom Basso, uh, Stanley Druckenmiller, Richard Dennis, Richard Darius. And then I used to make notes that, the common traits of these successful people, traders, how did they, manage to achieve such a success? One common thing was understanding market trends. That was literally the game changer for me when I understood that, okay, understanding the two market conditions. So the market is uh, uh, and that is what I started to understand in the fifth year, that any market, if I'm watching, looking at the price chart, there could only be two conditions, only two. Number one condition is if the supply and demand is imbalanced, there is an imbalance in supply and demand, and either the demand is aggressive, that means we have bullish trend, or supply is aggressive. The other condition is supply and demand is in equilibrium, that is a range bound market. So I really tried to understand those market conditions from supply and demand perspective. That was a point where I was like, wow, that was an awesome aha moment in the fifth year. And all these 5 years been trying different technicals. And then another thing was, as Bruce Lee said, that I don't fear a person who has who knows, who practiced 10,000 kicks. I fear a person who practiced one kick 10,000 times. So it really comes down to just one thing which I needed to focus and mastered. And I chose trend trading, going in the direction of trend.
How were you able to master that with psychological barriers, or did you even have any going through the rough first 5 years?
No, I had him. I'm in psychological barrier in a sense that uh, with as the time goes, I understood that it is cruel and it is sad, but this is the reality. And that's why I tell people that prop trading is literally a blessing for you guys, because people need to understand, and I understood and accepted that you cannot trade with a covered money. Money that is you kept for your lifestyle, the money from which you need to do groceries, pay rent, pay your child's fee. You cannot trade with that money. Even if you put that money in the market, you're definitely going to lose it. Yeah, there is. So what other options do you have? And for a couple of years I literally struggled with this, that what do I do? Do I do this, use this money for my day-to-day expenses monthly, or should I put part of this money into the my account? And not only me, today when I see people who wants to become a trader, that's one of the biggest issue they have, that they are forced to bring covered money into the market, money which they really need. And that's why I tell people that prop trading is literally blessing, that you don't have to worry about that. I mean, let's say if I've got, for example, if someone has got $1,000 and they know that this $1,000 they cannot lose, but they can buy a prop account from $100, from that $1,000, and $900 they can do their expenses, and $100. So from that $100, the amount of money they're getting, the trade account, That is not the covered money trade account. They can actually go ahead and, yeah. So yeah, I mean, with time you learn, and with rewards you get motivated.
Well, with psychological factors, how were you able to overcome that people keep on repeating?
But you just have to realize, I mean, trading is like, I tell you what, um, trading is like when there comes a point in traders' journey when you start to treat trading as kind of a video game, you know. So the thing is, everybody says that you don't have to have an emotional attachment with the money. But the thing is, the only way you can have detachment from that money if you don't care about that money. And the only way you're not going to care about that money if you are position sizing correctly. So, for example, if I've got, let's say, $50,000 trade account, if I'm risking, for example, 0.5% on any particular trade, I'm not going to be emotional on that trade. I'll be logical, I'll be rational, I'll let that trade play out. Instead, if I'm, let's say, risking $5,000, 10% from that 50K, it doesn't matter. Whoever is, even, George Soros is telling me not to become emotional, I'll be emotional. You know what I mean? So I think it comes down to your position sizing, that if you are managing your risk and your position size is according to what is bearable for you, according to the trade account size, then yeah. And the simple thing takes a lot of time, years, for people and traders to understand and to actually, you see, the thing is, knowing something and realizing something is totally different. I can tell you something today, you'd know this, you'd have this information, but for you to actually realize that, you'd have to go through that experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So speaking of risk management, it's crucial in trading. How do you approach risk in a swing trader type style? As there's not many swing traders compared to intraday or scalpers, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you see, the thing is, Richard Darius, he was one of the trading legends. And then yesterday I was listening to Stanley Druckenmiller, who was a successor of George Soros. He was telling the same thing, but basically this quote is, of Richard Darius. And it's a very beautiful quote. He was like, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong in the market. What matters is how much money you have made when you were right, how much money you have lost when you were wrong. So my thing is that I don't value too much win rate. I don't give too much value to win rate. You know, so I want to achieve my target with having 20% win rate, 25% win rate. The key here is that when I know I'm right in the market, I pump. I go full on, I accelerate. And when I know that this is not working out, my job is try and cut that position and just get out of that market. So if there are different techniques, with me, it's like if I'm right today, I don't know when am I going to be right the next time. So I try and take maximum advantage, but there is no mechanical system around it. For example, my position is going in my favor, and I say, okay, that's it, I'm going to increase my position. No, it's the candlestick patterns, it's the market structure, it's the price action development that needs to reassure me and give me clues that market is most likely going further in my direction, and give me some patterns where I can bring previous trades stop loss to break even and open new positions. Because
Okay. So
at all times, let's suppose I want to be in the market with not more than 0.5% risk, or max 0.8%, 1%, less than 1% in any given position, even if I'm building that position.
so you had a 25% win rate. How are you
I
able
mean,
to like
currently, look, I tell you what, one thing. For example, even with you guys, if I go and check my account right now, I've got 33% win rate, and still I'm profitable. I'm 2% up.
mhm.
You know what I mean? And it's not just me. I mean, if you study Richard Dennis, one of the legends of the trading industry. I mean, this guy, a couple of thousands of dollars, and this guy ended with $400 million. Now, the max win rate you'll find on Google, people claim that he had was 20%. Most say he had 5% win rate. So again, as I say, everybody has got their different trading styles. If I'm telling my style, somebody else will try and copy this. Maybe they're wearing my jacket, which won't fit them. I mean, they're so amazing intraday traders which I wish I could be one of them. Intraday. I mean, these guys are doing intraday trading and they're so amazing. So again, everybody's, whoever masters something, if they're good at it, well, they make money.
In one point in your life, have you ever thought about switching over to a different style of trading from, like, example, swing trading to like a scalper because of the low win rates?
I tried. It didn't work out for me. I tried. I tried the intra, I tried the scalping, but you know what? I think it's very important that we have to understand what type of person we are. You know what I mean? And what kind of what do we want from? I mean, for example, when I used to go to gym, and there were certain types of people. Someone wants to bulk up and mass up. They're lifting good. People just want shredded kind of cuts on their body. So
Yeah,
it's just like what do you want from it? I mean, what type of personality you have, and everybody chooses their style according to their personality.
100%. How much do you value journaling, and what's your usual everyday habits
But you
to
cannot
prepare for the market?
look. You cannot do business without. I I tell people this, and I'm a strong believer that businesses are successful. Um, you know, if 50% because of their sales, 50% because of their accounting. Accountant is a very important person in any company. I mean, imagine you're running a firm and your accountant is not good. You're done. Doesn't matter. You're bringing sales, whatever you're doing, you're
Mhm.
done. So, journal is the accountant of your trade account. And if that accountant is not being fed with correct data and not being updated, you don't know, we don't know what we are doing. And so, journaling, yes. I mean, this is something right from the beginning I used to do journaling.
Mm. And what's
Yeah.
your, are you like everyone else who have, like, the same usual routine to prepare for the markets?
Okay. So I have this very funny rule that, and look, what I do is, first of all, I look at the market. I do my weekend analysis. Yeah. And as swing trader, my time horizon is from hourly price chart to weekly price chart, with daily price chart being my anchor chart. So I don't trade weekly price chart, but I have to have a glance of weekly price chart to actually see what market is doing on the broader spectrum. And then I'm drilling down to daily and then hourly and 4 hourly. And ideally, I want to find signals on the hourly and 4 hourly price chart. So my rule is when I'm looking at the market, if I'm not getting a signal in the first 30 seconds of me opening a price chart, I pass on that market. There is no trade. Anytime I'm spending 30 seconds plus means I'm forcing that trade. I'm forcing that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's talk about us, funded trader markets. How are the trading conditions for you with FTM?
That
Curious
is
about your thoughts.
FTM is amazing because I told you, I mean, it's not been, it's just been a while that I've, rooted myself to prop firms. And
Yeah.
once I did, I went through different prop firms and their rules and conditions and websites and everything, and especially their customer support. Now, FTM is amazing in a sense. There are a couple of things. Beginner, especially the beginner traders, it's a blessing in a way that there are conditions commercially which are not that which are not that favored, for example your consistency and all that stuff. But I always tell people that these are type of conditions which, even if you would want to deviate from your own risk management rules, those conditions won't let you deviate. They'll force you to become disciplined trader in terms of your risk management. That's why those conditions are deployed there, number one. Secondly, the other things, the terminal, the website, and the payout specifically, they told me that they'll process my payout within 12 hours. But I've been receiving the past two payouts within like an hour, hour and 30 minutes. And the thing is, like, we have a little community where, a community of traders. And when I talk about FTM and other people, they, signed up with you guys. Not only me receiving the payouts quickly, those people, they shared their payouts with me as well, and they were pretty quick as well. So overall, it is, I mean, it's not just you're in front of me, and that's why I'm saying, apart from this interview, otherwise, when I'm talking about prop firms, I do talk definitely very good about FTM, Funded Trader Markets. I mean, you guys are pretty real deal professional people. And not once, I mean, as I said, that we have this little community of traders, not one person, when we were discussing this prop trading and overall trading markets, not one person said anything bad or negative or ill about your firm. So, yes, I mean, something you guys are doing amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Is there
Well,
anything else you would like to share with the audience? Perhaps a final piece of encouragement for others
it
for
is a
other traders
blessing.
aiming for their own.
Yes, I tell you, it is a blessing. One last thing I'll tell you what. Um, Before, a couple of minutes ago, I was talking about this guy, Jack D. Schwager. Now, Jack D. Schwager, he was an author, interviews successful traders. A lot of years back, 10, 15, 20 years back, he had made this platform, and then this platform went busted. I don't know what happened to it. And this was the idea that successful traders will upload their 3 years worth of track record, and they will help them get investors. Now this idea, because I'm telling you, 20, 25 years back, nobody was ready to give you their money. And that's why I tell people that this prop trading industry is literally a blessing, because I'll tell you this, I've come across so many people who have got real talent, who knows everything and want to trade, want to spend time, money, everything. But their financial situation is in a way that even for the next 5 years, they won't be able to own a $10,000 trade account. So I tell people, yes, you guys are amazing. FTM, whenever there is a trading talk, I recommend you guys. Your services are amazing. And not only I've tried and tested you and got 100K, $100,000 trade account. I've gone through the whole process from registering to withdrawal of my profits. So yeah, highly recommend and suggest people to try your service once.
How can people get a hold of you if times are tough or they have questions about anything?
They can, if they, well, I mean, I'm on your panel. People, if they want to get hold of me, they can just come to you and you can direct
I
me to
just,
them.
I'll just put it in the bio.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right. Thanks. That's all. Thank you for your time, sir.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.